Good morning. Kids, I don't know how many of you already know this, but I grew up in Granby. And when I was in high school, our church did a big picnic at Salmon Brook Park. Everyone brought food to share and games to play. There were little kids kicking around the soccer ball and throwing frisbees, and people were preparing food. And while people were doing this, a few of my friends and I, we were in high school, we decided to take a little walk, and we ended up crossing the bridge over into McLean's. We were walking and talking and laughing, and before we knew it, we had lost track of time. Our stomachs were really hungry, and so we decided we should probably head back. But we figured rather than follow the path back that we had lost track of time on, let's take a shortcut through the woods. So we veered off the path and we started to head through the leaves and the woods, and pretty soon out in the distance, I could see people, it looked like, at the park. And so I said, come on, let's go. I can see it. This shortcut is working. Let's run. And so we ran, and pretty soon, smack, we landed right in a barbed wire fence, and we tumbled over it. We didn't see it because we were running so fast, and I was so upset because I had new jeans on and the barbed wire had ripped a hole right in them. But even with that, our shortcut was still working. We could see and hear the people. So we kept running, and then pretty soon we got to the brook, Salmon Brook, and we had forgotten that we had crossed over this, and we had to tread through the water back to make it to the group of people to eat. Now, that shortcut certainly got us there faster, but it caused a lot more trouble than if we had just turned around and walked a little faster down the path. You know, it's easy sometimes to take shortcuts to love. I'm going to give you 3 examples of what shortcuts in love mean. One would be if you were buying a gift for someone. Rather than taking the time to think about what they really would love and appreciate, you just run out to the store and buy the first thing you see, or you buy something that maybe you would really want. That's not going to show your love and care and thought and appreciation of that person. That's just going to be kind of filling a void in giving them a gift. Another example would be when someone has spinach in their teeth and you're talking to them and you think, oh, you know what? I'm not going to embarrass them by saying anything. I'm just going to let them go on talking. That would be too hard if I said something. And then they turn around and they're super embarrassed by the next person. They realize they've had spinach in their teeth all day, right? The shortcut there of sparing their feelings really costs them their feelings in the long run. And the third example is when someone's going through a hard time, rather than sitting with them and supporting them and listening to them going through the hard time, the shortcut to love is to say something like, you know, everything happens for a reason, or, you know, it's all okay in the end. You want to fill that space, and so it's a shortcut to get to a place where everything's kind of wrapped up neatly with a little bow. But in the long run, what that person needs is someone to listen to them, to sit with them, to comfort them. And even though that's harder and takes longer, it's the more loving thing to do. We see Jesus taking no shortcuts to love throughout the stories in the New Testament. Jesus did the hard thing of sitting with people who are outcast and lonely and sick, people who didn't fit in the walls of society at the time. You know, Jesus could have chosen to take his ministry in a different direction and only talk to people who did fit in the walls of society, who were shiny and popular and, rich. But he didn't do that. And so as we continue on through Lent, let's remember not to take shortcuts to love, to sit with people when they're having hard times, to keep our eyes open for the hard work that it sometimes is to love other people. And when we do that, maybe in turn, we'll feel God's love ourselves. I hope you're having a good week. I miss you, and I can't wait to see you soon.